A hush blanketed the house, disturbed only by the faint whisper of the baby monitor's lullaby. In the nursery, a warm bubble of soft nightlight spilled across the crib, painting everything in honeyed shades. There lay 6-month-old Noah, his tiny chest rising and falling with a peaceful rhythm. Every inhale a promise of life, every exhale a reminder of what was missing. For months he had slept like this, a silent testament to the paralysis doctors declared untreatable. What would happen tonight? In the living room, Olivia sat hunched on the couch, clutching a blanket that still smelled of Noah's first days in the world. Each breath she took was laced with the echo of tests and unanswered questions. Beside her, Ryan stared at the carpet as if it might hold the answers they so desperately sought. The doctors had spoken of 0 causes, 0 cures. What if he never moves again? Olivia murmured into the dim light, her voice as fragile as glass. Ryan exhaled, his eyes hollow. We have to keep hoping, he said, though hope was a guest who rarely lingered these days. Could love alone defy the odds? At their feet, golden fur shimmered in the nightlight's glow. We have to keep her. Milo, the family's spirited puppy, lay alert by Noah's crib as he had every night since they brought him home. His eyes were warm pools of devotion, locked on the baby he watched over. Olivia had always believed it was puppy love instinct, nothing more. But tonight, Milo's stillness carried urgency, as though he sensed the gravity of what slumbered before him. What was he waiting for? Suddenly, Milo's ears twitched. He rose on trembling legs, pacing in tight circles, tail stilled like a compass needle. Tia. His head darted from crib to doorway and back again, as if he were relaying a secret only he could decipher. Then, with a soft whimper, he leapt up, paws pressed against the crib's rail, nose nudging the bars. The sound echoed down the hallway, a cry for attention. Would anyone heed his call? Olivia's heart lurched. Did you hear that? She whispered, sitting upright, eyes wide. Ryan sprang up, nodding toward the nursery. Their footsteps were quick, breath shallow, as they followed the plaintive sound to the doorway. There, Milo stood on hind legs, head against the rails, whimpering like a heartbeat in the quiet. The tableau froze them. A small puppy pleading with silent urgency, the palpable tension of the unknown. What was he trying to tell them? Then Olivia saw it. A tremor in Noah's little hand. One finger curled, then uncurled, a fragile dance against the darkness. She caught her breath, as though inhaling hope for the first time. Ryan, she gasped, finger pointing. He leaned in, eyes widening at the barely perceptible pulse of movement. Time slowed, every second stretched as Noah's digits whispered a promise of life returning. Could this truly be happening? As if encouraged by his canine guardian, Noah's hand lifted a hair's breadth higher, rising with careful deliberation. Milo pressed his head into the crib, tail giving a shy wag of encouragement, while Olivia reached out, trembling fingers brushing her son's palm. A sob caught in her throat, raw and jubilant. Ryan's hand trembled on the rail, disbelief warring with elation. In that suspended moment, nothing else mattered but the tiny miracle unfolding before them. What would come next? A soft bark burst from Milo, excitement rippling through his golden coat. His paws danced against the bars as his eyes gleamed with triumph. Noah's fingers stretched toward the sound, then, miracle of miracles, his legs twitched beneath the blanket. A gentle shift, just enough to quake the firm ground of every doubt they carried. Ryan gasped, gripping the crib for balance, while Olivia dropped to her knees, tears spilling like rain. They watched, breath held, as Noah's world began to stir again. Where would this newfound movement lead? Minutes felt like lifetimes as Noah thrilled to the rhythm of his own awakening. His eyes fluttered open, deep brown pools blinking against the glow of the nightlight. He regarded his parents with sleepy innocence. Then, drawn by an invisible thread, lifted his hand and reached for Milo. And the puppy leaned in without hesitation, pressing scruffy fur against Noah's palm in a tender nuzzle. Olivia let out a sob that shook her shoulders. Ryan's back bowed under the weight of emotion. In that sacred instant, love and life converged. Could they ever forget this moment? In the days that followed, under the astonished gaze of doctors, Noah's recovery continued. His fingers curled stronger, his legs kicked softly, and every morning brought a new spark of movement. Medical experts labelled it an unexplainable recovery, but Olivia and Ryan knew the truth. No chart, no prescription could rival the power of Milo's devotion. Love, in the form of a wagging tail and a patient nudge, had rewritten their story. And as Olivia sat in the rocking chair, with Noah cradled in her arms and Milo curled at her feet, she whispered through tears, "You saved him, Milo sighed contentedly, nuzzling closer, as if to say, oh, we saved him, together. Sir, but perhaps the real lesson was this. When the world tells you to give up, sometimes the smallest gestures, the quietest acts of love bring about the greatest miracles. Will you keep believing? In the quiet mornings that followed, sunlight filtered through gauzy curtains and danced across Noah's crib rails, illuminating the delicate miracle unfolding before them. Each dawn felt like a communion with possibility. Noah's toes flexed against the soft blanket, a small stir that sent Olivia's heart soaring as if it were the first note of a long-forgotten song. Ryan would hover nearby, coffee forgotten in his hand, eyes fixed on their son's gentle progress. Milo, ever vigilant, settled into his favourite spot at the foot of the crib, ears perked for even the faintest sigh of movement. With every tiny kick, every subtle curl of Noah's fingers, they tasted hope anew. Could life become this beautiful every single day? By midday, laughter, once a rare visitor in their home, echoed softly through the halls. Olivia carried Noah in a sling against her chest, his warm skin against hers, a reminder that every second was a gift reclaimed. In the living room, the golden retriever bounded in joyful loops, as though celebrating each milestone with exuberant wagging. Strangers who passed by the window would catch glimpses of this unlikely trio, mother, child, and dog moving in unison, as if choreographed by love itself. And when they paused to rest on the couch, Milo would curl between them, his head on Noah's tiny legs, guardianship made manifest in fur and breath. Afternoons became therapy sessions in disguise, no sterile clinic, but a sunlit spot on the rug where Ryan encouraged Noah to reach for a plush toy or follow a dangling ribbon. With Milo at his side, Noah would stretch, guided by the puppy's gentle nudges at heart-tugging gaze. Shoes and heart-tugging gaze. Olivia would film the sessions on her phone, not to broadcast the wonder, but to archive proof that miracles could take root in the simplest acts. A puppy's nudge, a parent's whispered cheer, a baby's determined spirit. Doctors marvelled at the footage, shaking their heads at every new move. But the family knew that charts and credentials mattered less than the binding force of belief. As the days turned into weeks, a rhythm settled over their home, one composed of soft sighs, whispered encouragements, and the steady thump of a wagging tail. Noah's recovery was no longer unexplainable, but a testament to persistence and affection, each day writing a new chapter in a story they once feared would end in stillness. And on nights when fear crept back, when exhaustion threatened to dim their hard-won joy, they found solace in Milo's loyal presence. A reminder that even the smallest heart can spark the grandest change. So they held tight to that truth. Miracles may arrive on quiet paws and gentle breaths, but their impact can roar louder than any doubt. Bill, you let yourself believe.